Hello, it's Acid here. I'm going to do a quick tutorial today for y'all, show you how to make an awesome creeper farm. Oh yeah. This creeper farm is not my original concept, but I've done a little bit to it, not a huge amount. But anyhow, this creeper farm works great. As you can see it behind me, it is really raring and tearing on some gunpowder production. Oh yeah. Alright, so let me take a couple moments to explain to you a couple of the dynamics behind this farm and how it actually gets so much gunpowder. Oh yeah. Alright, over here, basically what we have here is an example of spawnable areas. Alright. Okay, so as you can see, we have a spider here, and it takes a 1 block high, 4 block square to spawn spiders. Okay. Next, this here is this creepers, as I'm getting ready to demonstrate here, can spawn in a space that is a little bit less than 2 blocks high by 1 block wide. Alright, so contrary to creepers, zombie takes absolutely 2 blocks to spawn, and that's whether it's a baby zombie or a full-size zombie. It still needs, regardless of what type it is, the 2 blocks in height to be able to spawn. Alright, so here, same deal with the skeleton. As you can see, their heads are just plainly touching the top of this. So in order to make a farm spawn just creepers alone, you have to reduce the amount of spawnable spaces to a 1 by slightly less than 2 block spawnable space. So in a height retrospective, as long as the space is less than 2, but slightly, like say using this trap door, only the creeper is going to spawn, with the exception of this guy, the spider. Alright, so the spider is real easy to solve by placing carpets real carefully in areas to keep him from having a 4 block spawnable surface to spawn on. Alright, and as you can see, an Enderman is even taller. He's just slightly less than 3 blocks tall. So no worries on Enderman usually on inside your mob farms, unless that's exactly what you're trying to farm, is Enderman. Anyhow, so the dynamics of this farm are over here. Let me explain. So over here I have a cat and a minecart, and just to show you a couple examples here, what I want to do here is just spawn a creeper right next to this poor cat. As you see, oh god, he's so scared he's running. Okay, so basically this is a representation of what ranges a creeper is going to actually be startled by a cat. So as you can see out here in the yellow, he is just not scared. So he's just going to, unless he moves too closely to the cat, he's just going to hang out right there. He's okay. Let me just show you one more time. This guy's just fine and dandy. Okay, so let's just go on in. Boom, stick him right there. Oh gosh, see, he's so scared. If you stick him right there, oh man, he's running for his life, because creepers are indeed scared of cats. So as far as naming cats and all this, I don't know that any of that's necessary, but I do recommend like taming and naming your cats so that they don't despawn on you. So anyhow, that would leave us with a spawnable surface such as this right here. So this size here. So you have your centralized block, which you can see I have marked out in red there. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 spaces out in all directions, with the exception of this 3 block snipped out corner. Okay, because let me just demonstrate that one more time. If you leave those corners in your platform, these guys will just be standing here and not too scared by the cat, and that'll tear down your spawn rate some. So I recommend leaving this corner out of your spawning platforms altogether. Alright, so let me go on over here. I've got another little mock-up kind of running here, and just on the research of this farm, I can tell you this farm does not, this collection grid over here, this here is not fast enough to move all the items for a 10 high creeper farm. So this is just an example of how tall you could make this. In my own specific world, for example, I did not make a 10 high one because I think that's just, there's just way more gunpowder than I'll ever need. So I made one that's just 2 high. It's just the same principles but only 2 high, and it works just fine for me. Even if you went with like half the size, this collection system would work just great. But the killing mechanism here in the minecart track setup works just fine. So if you was to take you a screenshot and just duplicate exactly the shape I have here, and run the rails out exactly like I have them here. You can power them with redstone blocks, or any way you want to power the redstone is fine, but I just use some levers here. It's pretty easy. Just run around till everything's powered up. Okay, so over here is just a basic hopper dropper, like hopper system that helps you feed a signal to the powered rail that keeps the minecart stationary while it's unloading. So once it unloads, it revives the signal and launches the minecart back out. Hello there, little guy. Oh yeah, just spawned all you guys, didn't I? Okay. Anyhow, so yeah, so this is exactly what we started with over here. And this over here is our platform shape. So what we have here is one up, one square above. We have of that little guy I showed you over there. One space up above that, we have just a 2 wide row of magma blocks, and then we want to go up 2 more spaces before we start to do our first spawning platform. So basically the spawning platform is what I showed you over here, is exactly that, with a couple exceptions. Like we was discussing earlier, the carpeting is pretty important as to how to keep to having spider spawns. So I will take a quick moment here and just show you real quickly over here how you would want to design and lay out your carpets to keep spiders from spawning. So basically what I did was found this one guy here and went off the center guy, over one and over one. So then starting like that, I just go 1, 3, 4, and then skip 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip 1, and 1, 2, 3, and you got 4 in. Alright, another thing here. Another word. You don't want the creepers to be able to run into this guy and move him, so this is the best route I've determined to keep him all together where you want him, is just surrounding by some slabs and stuff those on there like that. Alright, so once you've got those in there like that, you just circle these guys here with more carpets, and you'll be able to see the pattern pretty easily here once I get it going. So these 2 guys on the corner, you want to hit those. These 2 guys. Alright, now in here, what we want to have is like plus signs. So there's a plus sign. Got a plus sign here. Got a plus sign there. Plus sign there. Plus sign there. There. You get it. You get the idea. Alright, so accompanied with that, as well as that, we would also want to have our trapdoors going around the edges, like so. And this basically shows the mob, hey, there's a floor here. I can walk here, and I'm going to run across here, and I'm going to get away from this nasty cat. Okay, so you definitely want to line around the entirety of your platform with these, and the way I did the corners was just kind of like this, because not necessarily this trapdoor obviously is attached to this space as well. So these 2 covers this. Okay, so that explains that. Now over here, you just basically have a corner of glass that goes clean up the whole build, and then you have each platform. So one thing also to note that's important that we were mentioning over there is when you're doing like the second platform up, you will have to put trapdoors along the whole bottom, and that will keep anything but, unless you want a total mob farm. Now if you left those trapdoors out, you would end up getting creepers, skeletons, zombies, probably witches, but not endermen, and you would more than likely get a spider or 2 just because there's an extra spawnable block overhead there, and they would probably somehow just who knows, spiders are a nuisance, but this would be a multi-purpose mob farm if it wasn't for the carpets here, and if it wasn't for the trapdoors up on the bottom of the spawning platform above. So you definitely want to hook that up. Okay, well, there's one little difference down here on the first row, and that is on the first row, which was the second row that hovers, but the first row, that platform that has the trapdoors, you would want to double the trapdoors here, and what that does is keeps the creepers that are up higher from falling down and landing on that and being able to escape the farm. You don't want that. Okay, so basically you just do the same thing, repeat and paste with the cat in the middle, no problem, all the way up, and you can go up as high as you probably want to with this, but for this example I went 10 high. Alright, and then notice even how on the top I also still have the trapdoors in the shape that they need to be. Alright, and then as far as this goes, this top guy here, and I don't really fully understand pack spawning, so I'm not going to go into explaining exactly how pack spawning works, But what this here is not just a light blocker. This here enables pack spawning. Okay, so if you go up from here, the main thing to remember is to go up and then carry it out 15 from each corner of your platform, and then connect it, and then connect your diagonals and fill everything in. Okay, if you're doing this obviously in your survival world, you'll want to make sure that this thing has non-spawnable stuff on top, like such as bottom half slabs, something. But I like to do mine where it's got this solid block, so I know that no light is getting through inside of my creeper farm, because as you know, mob spawning depends heavily on light levels. But as you can see, this farm here is a productive farm. Big time production. Alright, so just wanted to go in and explain a little bit how this thing works and see if I can help you guys a little bit. This thing has helped me hugely. I think I've seen a video by Logical Geek Boy that shows off this farm and the dynamics of it, how it works. So I love this thing. I get all my gunpowder with this. It's great. And as I was saying, you don't technically have to build a 10 tier one to get a good amount of gunpowder. But as you can see, if you do build a 10 tier one, boy oh boy, you sure do get a lot of gunpowder. So much gunpowder, in fact, that the minecart just cannot handle it. Look at there. This thing's been running maybe 10 minutes. But yeah, this is enough gunpowder with this 10 tier system. Probably provide an entire server full of people enough gunpowder to fly till their heart's content. So this has been Acid. Appreciate you guys watching the video. If you got any questions about this farm, hit me up in the comment section. I'll try to do my best to answer any questions. Alright, hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. See you on the next one.